Hi everyone, my name is Mikkel and welcome to another episode of Get Toned. Today's topic is going to be on the digital side of audio engineering, and it's going to be about impulse responses. Impulse responses, often called IRs for short, is a term used a lot by both guitarists as well as audio engineers and is considered essential for getting that golden tone. But what exactly is an IR? The technical definition is a combination of sonic measurements of a cabinet, a microphone, a room, or all three. A good way to think of it is an EQ curve that is applied to your amp to do tonal shaping. So basically, to water it down, IRs are basically cab and microphone combinations that are created with a studio grade setup that you can use easily from your computer. Many people notice when they use IRs and cab sims that they tend to sound very different than being in the actual room as the cabinet itself. That is because these are recorded through a closed mic environment, which means that the microphone is placed within inches of the cabinet. As a result, the created tone would sound more similar to that of a recorded song than that of being in the same room as the cabinet itself. Tones created from IRs depend on something called a full range flat response. As the name suggests, it means that the output of whatever you're listening to has a flat EQ curve, and this is found normally through PAs as well as monitors. Because of an IR's dependency on FRFR, it takes a good amount of ear training to be able to identify a good tone, and would require you to look at it from more of a producer perspective. There are four major components in an IR: the power amp that's used, the cabinet, the microphone, and the microphone preamp. When an IR is created, it is first sent out through a recording interface and into a reamp box. From there, it will match it to the correct impedance and send the signal into a power amp. The point of the power amp section is to boost the voltage in the signal enough so that it can push out through the cab. Now, there are two types of power amps used: solid state amps as well as tube amps. Solid state amps tend to have a relatively flat EQ curve and give more space for amp head variations when using IRs. Tube amps, on the other hand, tend to have some tonal characteristics and do some shaping. This is perfect if you have a preamp pedal and do not want to use a tube amp when using IRs. From the power amp section, the voltage signal is then sent into the cabinet. There are many factors that affect the tone coming out of the cabinet, including the materials that it's used, the type of speakers, and the amount of speakers. The cabinet is one of the most essential parts when creating an IR, and is usually what is being sold when people are selling IR bundles. Coming out of the cabinet, the signal is then captured through a microphone. There are also many factors when it comes to the microphone, including the microphone placement, the microphone type, the angle that the microphone is being placed, as well as the room the microphone is in. All these factors play a huge role in shaping the tone created in an IR. Moving a microphone an inch in any direction will cause a noticeable difference in the tone, and if you were to change out the microphone for another type, you would notice a great difference as well. After the signal is being captured to the microphone, it is then sent into a preamp. Now, the preamp is just the last layer of tonal shaping, and a lot of the times they're not even used. The whole point of the preamp section is so that IR creating companies can differentiate their product to other competitors and have their own signature tone associated with it. Cab sims are basically this whole recording chain put into a plugin. It allows users to manipulate microphone placement as well as cabinet type in order to create their own custom impulse responses without having a studio. IRs play a huge role when tone building, especially now that we live in the digital age, and can save you a lot of money on your gear. There's also a good amount of ear training when it comes to be able to identify a good IR. I would recommend doing as many A/B comparisons as you can when you're doing tone building exercises, or even when you're recording, so that you can get in the habit of knowing which IR would suit best in a mix. Later on this month, I'll be posting a demo using the Miko plugin from ML Sound, so be sure to check that out. I'm also going to be including some A/B comparisons for different mic types in the SoundCloud link below. Be sure to check that out, and you can download those files to do some ear training on the go. If you enjoy the content, be sure to hit the like button as well as subscribe to keep up to date with new content. Thank you guys all for watching, and hope to see you all next time. Have a great day.